Modulation of the low end. So this sound here is very special. I wanted it in All Stars Volume 2. It was one of the top drum and bass tracks on the Beatport's Top 100 at the moment. And I know many people don't like the Beatport's Top 100 to gauge whether a drum and bass track is good or not, but I like to make sounds based on songs and sounds in songs that have some form of social proof, some form of validity for producers in any genre to use. And the key thing with this sound, in order to get it to sound this way, was the pre-filtering, but in particular the low end removal. Because usually when we pre-filter, what we're trying to do is we're trying to manipulate the sound before it hits heavy amounts of distortion. Because if I remove all the pre-filtering in this sound, it's going to sound like a boring blob on very normal bass. There's really nothing special about it. But the moment that I start adding a pre to the distortion, this is an EQ or a low pass or high pass filter that is going to shun all of the highs out of this sound. Then we start getting more interesting. However, where it gets even better is adding an EQ beforehand and adding this shake with an LFO, just a standard triangle, being routed to the frequency around where the meat of the low end of the sound is, and dialing it in so that you get that rumble effect. Now, I'm not sure if this is the way Skantia did it, but this is the sound design technique that we use in order to create this bass and make it and give it that extra, edge. One of the things that I want to do with all the presets is just have them have something special about them, and this is a differentiating factor that really makes the sound come to life. Phasers for grimy Simula-like sounds. Now for this technique, we utilize phasers, and phasers are going to be essentially an effect, but in Serum, you can find these phaser filters which mimic the effect. And the beautiful thing about it is that usually with phasers, you're going to have this rate, this LFO that's applied that moves left and right on your notches. So usually with phasers effect, you're going to have this going back and forth. However, if you use it as a filter, it's going to be very static, and we can use it more for tone-like features. So usually what you want to do is you want to find a wavetable that will sound good when you route it into a phaser. Here for this sound, we're using a phaser 36 negative. Okay, and now if I remove all of the effects, this is how it's going to sound like. Already very, very, very grimy. Okay, so our job is to accentuate that more with distortion, with EQ, however you want. So from there, if we start to add distortion, we get this. Now we can play around with the cutoff. So we get it somewhere. Where it sounds super sick, we're gonna add a sub. Okay, and from there we can start to add even more phasers if you choose to. To even get it more grimier, you can add OTT. Okay, and then the chorus. Now, of course, the modulation is very important because if I don't have it, it sounds like that. So you definitely want to get your LFO, and you want to add either something in your head for your drop. So for example, if I'm hearing wow, wow, then I'm going to do this modulation here. And I want to make sure, again, I'm hitting the right spot. From there, a bit of reverb really makes it sound damp and sells the effect further. And from there, just add anything you think will sound good. Can also increase or add in a sub, a sine, will bring in a little bit more dirt because we're not routing it into the same filter, but we're using it to help us with this distortion here. Now you got to be careful. If it's too much, you blob the sound out. Okay, as you can see there, so we use this EQ to really get it a little bit more defined, and we get that sick, sick, sick. When you master phasers, again, 36 negative or 36 positive, just play with them. You'll be able to make sounds like this, Use warps like PWM and ASIM Plus to add more interest into your basic wave shape sounds. Now for this one, there was a lot of sounds where if we don't add these movements, again, you just get a very basic. However, if we're going to be using phase distortion, which is the initial Serum 1 FM, then we can start to use stuff on the modulator. That's the sound that you're going to bring the level down to. It's going to be modulating this guy. And we can start adding warp effects to it, like PWM, bend minus, and bend plus. So for example, here, with it off, we just add that extra movement. And while it's very small, it does the biggest because it's more of an attention to detail thing, but it brings the sound to life and makes it feel like it's actually moving a lot more. The biggest thing about it is that you want to use it to add these movements. With it off, we now bring it down. And we get more of that ooh-rah, ooh-rah, squelchy sound. Here we use a bend minus. Here, if we use it here, we bring life to the sound versus sounding very static. And something so simple as just adding that to a sound can really bring it to life, especially with these drum and bass sounds that are complex because the sound is constantly always moving. Bou-like sounds with square modulations. Now this sound is probably one of the hardest sounds in this pack, even though honestly it seems simple in nature. And also what happened here with the OTT on this. Okay, Steve, but you know, hear me out here. This was one of the hardest sounds to recreate. I guess I can't wrap my head around the fact that square modulations can be used in drum and bass sound design. And let me show you why this works and how I see you guys using it. First off, the way I now see it is that when you do these sort of modulations, you're going to very extreme values instantly. So you have the sound hit at an intended first tone that you really like, which would probably be something like this. From there, this high value, you're going to set that, right? You're going to set your blue, your modulation amount to where you want it to sound like. So another variation of it that sounds really good. So that's where you start to route this guy into multiple parameters that will change it in an instant. So let's say that I decide to mess with the sound a little more. So it's kind of like a slingshot sound, which creates this effect. And again, this LFO is just routed to a bunch of parameters in order to create this effect that you hear in the sound, which honestly, one of my favorite sounds from All Stars Volume 2. Because Bou has probably my favorite sound design of all time. He's just very, very warm with his sounds. And that's something I find with other, again, I'm not going to name any names, that they're just way too cold. And to be warm requires a bit of patience and a bit of skill, because this sounds a lot fuller than something just being fucked by OTT. Delayed effects. So for some of the sounds, I really wanted to feel like something is slowly or gradually modulating, coming in. Like this sound, for instance, starts to shake. So in the Serum 2 LFO, you do have this rise feature here, which slowly brings in the modulation for you. And you can set it based on time here. So like it takes a bar to fully kick in, or it takes half a bar or to fully kick in. 1/8, 1/4, and so forth. So you can use your rise to like delay some effects, maybe pitch bends, maybe something moving because you just want your sound to have it, or you want to alter the preset to have something that happens afterwards. You can use the rise to do that. The other alternative would be to use your delay, which doesn't gradually bring it in. It just comes in instantly after 1/4. So for instance there, I probably set it to a half. But for this sound, the rise made a lot more sense, more gradual. Delay is also good if you're doing sequences and you want to have one LFO do its thing, then another one comes in, then another one comes in, and so forth. Sounds to life with pitch modulation. So inside of Serum 2, if you have a sound, let's say like this, and it's sounding cool, but it's just missing that extra touch, right? One of the things I always like to try and do is add some form of pitch modulation. So in this sound inspired by BassTrippers, if I activate this, we get that at the end, sort of like a Melbourne Pound Lead from back in 2012. But in order to do something like that, you can go into your matrix and you're going to drag and drop your LFO. Let's say that we want to do it one more time. We drag it like here. We're going to go here. We're going to go into our global main tuning. And now we can control the tuning of everything inside of Serum 2. And now for with your LFO, set it to envelope mode and you can do really cool modulations. So here we have this nice shot. So if I go again into the matrix, let's put our LFO here. We're going to go here. We're going to go global main tuning. You guys are experts at this now. And now we're just going to move that to the right. Let's go slow, envelope. And now we can play with the amount. And this helps us just create those sick sounds that you hear your favorite producers using a lot. And one of the sickest things for me is always doing something like this and slowly coming up and down. So that initial hit is done very fast. And something sick like that can happen. So we can do these pitch modulations. For a lot of the presets, we will do them like, you know, we get that womp womp. Insane noise texture. So this one is one of like the gatekept ones, I would say, because no one really talks about it. And to do this effect, pretty much we're going to add texture to the sound. So without it on, with it on, you get this insane texture on the sides. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to go to your LFO and you're going to add a chaos. And you can go with whichever you want, but you want to add it to your pan here. And you can use both values if you choose to, and then have it at a very high rate. And this creates this crazy texture around the sound versus having it just down the center. And then when being ran through distortion, this texture also provides a lot of flavor. Okay, so for instance, again, here we're just going to go chaos. Let's try the Rossler this time and just drop it in here. And also drop the Y. And we get this sound on the sides. And now we can run this guy to our second filter by going here. And we can dial it in a bit further using a bandpass. Here, moving it to the right. And creating texture for the sound. Now, of course, you can also go into color and add the gauger and widen it like this. This gives a different effect, of course. You don't really get that very nice auto pan effect from the noise. But again, it's another valid thing you can do to add texture to a lot of your bass lines when it's needed. Micro modulations. The things that I love about analog synths is that there's this thing known as filter modulation, which is where you modulate the filter with one of your oscillators. So for example, in Serum 2, you can now grab your oscillator and route it into your cutoff in order to achieve something very similar. In order to create filter modulation, which just adds a lot more character to the sound. Now, taking that concept and putting it into an LFO for the sounds to give that sound a bit more life, because again, right, if we switch this, let's say that we just go with a very basic triangle, it's going to sound like that. But with that extra movement, it gives that sound that, again, that extra 9-10%, that professor shit, as Axel would say, in order to really make it come to life. And then we can add this mod to just kill it. Get some nasty stuff. These are the techniques that kept me up all night. I had to figure these out to get these sounds to that level where I go, okay, this is just right. And My hope is that these techniques empower you guys to go into your own presets and try applying some phasers, some low-end removal modulation, some PWMs to add movement, some square LFO action in order to make your sounds just sound a little bit better, a little bit more you. As a sound designer, I embark on side quests like making drum and bass sound banks. Who knows, maybe I'll make a dubstep one day, because it teaches me different techniques of sound design with synthesizers that I can always bring to techno and tech house. That is how I become unique, and that is how I don't become boring and singular with every sound I make for you guys. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm an arms dealer for producers, and I want to empower you guys with some sick sounds that you can use as starting points or use as is. So with that said, if you guys enjoyed any of the sounds in this video, you can find them all in All Stars Volume 2. There's countless of more techniques to learn in all those presets. And of course, countless of bomb, awesome sounds inspired by the drum and bass all-star sets, inspired by Reaper, Perupa, Tantron, you name it. We looked at it all. We got inspired by their sounds. We modeled their sounds, these sounds after these people in order to make a pack that is usable, will induce flow with the sample pack, and will just make you a better, faster producer and have you having fun making music and being able to create stuff that you are proud to play out. With that said, guys, you guys take care. And if you guys want to watch another video, I suggest you check this out. It will help you further. Take care and peace out.